Hi, we're back here with module number 7, and today it's about reversing the roles. So module 7 is about reversing roles. So play suspends the normal roles and rules of life and allows the child to try on new roles, try out being the rule enforcer and experiment with power. Role reversal is especially helpful for restoring children's sense of confidence and of overcoming fears and inhibitions. Children often feel powerless in their world as they are the ones following the rules, getting told what to do and when to do it. Play gives them a chance to take on the powerful role. Even older children will take on new roles. Pre-adolescents play at becoming teenagers, and teenagers, they take on the role of an adult. In the nursery, we do a lot of role play so children can experiment on how to be firemen and doctors and different role playing with the kitchens and being an adult serving. It's a great way to give your children powers. It's almost like the role of acting. When you watch a movie, we want to act like the character, act like the hero, and it gives them a chance. It gives the children a chance to feel like they're in control of the rules and they're in control of the power, which builds confidence. Using role reversal. Role reversal can help children restore their confidence by making sure that it is the adult and not the child who appears incompetent in the play. Adults often try to boost a child's confidence with words and lectures about how well they are doing. Often this doesn't work. Children still feel incompetent because they are less good at things that adults can do. By reversing the roles, the adult can help the child cut through their own feelings of incompetence. In doing so, the child can feel more competent than the adult, even if it's for a short time. And I use this a lot with my children when we're playing a game. I call it the bumbling clown. So I get them to feel confident. In regards to the role reversal, I make them the leader, and they have to teach me what to do, and then they start teaching me and I fall over. Even playing with the cars, this is a great game that I play with my son. We have 2 cars, and I say to my son, show me the stunt that you can do, and he does this amazing stunt with his car, and I say, okay, now watch this, I'm the best as well. And I take the car and it doesn't go anywhere, it just goes blump, and my son laughs at that, and then he goes, no, this is how you do it. And all of a sudden he's got the power and the control, and he's teaching me, and he feels more confident. And I can see the confidence as he's explaining how the stunt is to be done. So role reversal can also help with older children who are picking on smaller ones. By reversing the roles and asking the older child to pick on an adult instead of the older child, they get a chance to play out the power issues. But in that situation, that won't get them in trouble. The adults can pretend to be incompetent and thus give the older child a feeling of power. Or the adult can wrestle with the older children and show the older their limitations, but still let them win. This is great when my 2 sons, the older one starts fighting with the younger one, and I come up and I put my fists up to him and I say, pick on someone your own size, yeah! And then he turns around and he knows I'm being playful, and then he decides to pick on me, and so I run, and then I turn around, I grab him, and then we start having a wrestling match. But then my other son, who was being picked on, I turned to him, I said, yeah, I've got your brother. And all of a sudden he has to go and save his brother. And it's built a bond between the siblings. And also it's built a bond with us. And then you let the children win. Usually my sons are towering over me and pounding down at me. And I'm enjoying it like crazy because I can see that they're a team. And it's building a connection. But just remember, they are kids, so them thumping down on you doesn't hurt as much as it sounds. The importance of storytelling. Storytelling is a way to help children address and heal fears. Often children play the same scenes over and over again, but don't seem to heal from it. Other times, children appear to be avoiding an issue. Storytelling can help children address these issues in a non-threatening way. Storytelling is such a big part of my life. At this moment of time, I've gone on a course to actually learn how to sell through storytelling, how to influence through storytelling. And the first thing I did was I got my children in bed, and I told them a story using the techniques. And when I did this story, my sons were in the bed, and I was standing in front of them, and I told them this story about two brothers and how they wanted to progress, but they were so poor. And I went through the process, and I could see that they were really connected with the story. And it wasn't about poverty, it was about the two brothers. It was the two brothers, how they stuck together, and everyone called them the wrong brothers. And all they wanted to do was to make a success of themselves so they can help their parents to financially. But not only that, they wanted to change the world somehow. And then at the end, everyone calling them the wrong brothers, they formulated a plan and created an aeroplane, and they became the Wright brothers. And anyone who knows the story about the way planes were invented, it was actually the Wright brothers. But this was a story based upon them. It was not a true story, but when I told them this for the first time, I saw my eldest son tear up over a story and kind of just wipe his face and just tuck it into his mother's arm. And I realized the power of stories, because he could release his emotion that he felt towards his brother, his younger brother, because he loves his younger brother, but he never says it because he's the big brother. But from that, he connected how the two brothers stuck together, and he felt that. And it's so moving. And I encourage everyone to learn how to tell stories. Stories work best when they are thinly disguised versions of the truth, close enough to make a connection between the story and real events. Excuse me. Between the story and the real events and the feelings, but different enough to make it safe. Finding the right distance from the event that are troubling is sometimes difficult, but with practice you can talk about topics and maybe might be too hard to address directly. Joint storytelling can be a way for children and parents to work out difficult issues. Have the child add elements and create part of the story for you to continue on. It's a great game. As children get older, 10 to 12, the focus can shift to the child from listening to the child's own story. One powerful tool is having an older child tell their story, perhaps over and over again, asking them to add details each time. What we must resist when we do this is the urge to fill in the gaps or correct them, because it's their story, and as they are telling it over and over again, it's making them feel better and more empowered. This is the reason why we have to tell stories over and over again and improve it, because the more you tell a story, the more it disappears from your brain, and it's replaced with a more empowering story. And this is the way we can actually change the past. So we can actually build a DeLorean and go to the past and change whatever has happened to us by telling stories, by telling a story over and over again, because beliefs that children have are created through stories. And so if we tell a story over and over again, the real fearful, frightening story that might exist all of a sudden becomes a powerful, empowering story that can wipe out the old one, and we've changed history in our mind. Let's get back to the course and leave Back to the Future in the movie world. Parents as directors, helping children take on fears. Sometimes parents need to take on the role of scriptwriter or director in order to help children address fears. Children like adults will gladly avoid things they are afraid of, but this does little to help them get over the fear. Initiating a game about the fears can help the child overcome them. Sometimes games don't work, and parents have to address the fear head on. If this happens, try to balance the desire to protect the child from any fear and the desire to push them to get over it. Taking it slowly, watching the child's reaction and pushing them to the edge, but not over the edge, of their abilities will help them deal with it. Finally, sometimes children seek out scary experiences and want to relive them over and over again. When they do this, especially with an adult who can intervene when things get too scary, they desensitize themselves. If the child seeks out the fear but just gets scared over and over again, the adult needs to intervene, often with a role reversal play, and help the child through the fear. Like I mentioned in the previous slide, if something is scary, we can help them through role reversal, we can help them through storytelling, we can help them through the process. We allow the child to go through it, but as an adult, we are the directors of this movie, and if they need us to intervene, we're there to intervene. And we can also do the role reversal. We can be the one that's absolutely scared of this event, and they can be the comforter, and they can all of a sudden feel powerful and confident and start rewriting history that from their mind. Fantasy play. Sometimes role reversal isn't necessary. Sometimes just playing out the actual difficulties can help. This is what happened to one of our parents' daughters from the nursery. She said, "Let's pretend you're the dad and I'm the daughter and you're mad at me." Sometimes controlling the game is enough for the child to play through the issue. Children may often do this when playing through a painful theme, such as jealousy towards a sibling, feeling that no one likes them, or difficulties in school. Many children will introduce their own fantasy play. Other children need a push from the adult. Introduce a conflict or a challenge, or give other characters in the story the same conflicts the child is dealing with. Having the tow truck say, "You love the fire truck more than me." The child may be mean or nasty to this character, which shows how bad he feels about the problem. Or the child may show you exactly what she needs from you in this play. It's such a great way of playing through things. At times, it is difficult to read between the lines when the child says, "I hate you," to see what the child means. It could be, "Everyone hates me." So this is something we need to be aware of. Being able to address these comments is in a playing way, like, "Well, he hates me," or, "Well, you can hate me, just don't love me," can help the child through their emotions. So playing through the emotion that the child is feeling is a great way to help them break the emotions. We just have to remember that whenever children are in a mode of being hateful or saying mean words, it's basically them saying, "Please help me." It's a cry for help. Once we realize there's two forms of communication, one is a loving communication, one is a cry for help, then we can help them through play by saying, like, "Oh, he hates me, oh," and starts falling on the ground and rolling, or but making sure you're not mocking them, or just say, "Well, you can hate me, but just don't love me, because love makes me shrink," and all of a sudden you flipped it around and the game is on. Children often take on the good guy or the bad guy within the play, like Cops and Robbers or Batman and Joker. This kind of play disturbs parents sometimes, but it's a good way to practice control over aggression. Playing at hurting people, being the bad guy, or hurting bad people, like Batman being the good guy, can help children learn to control their impulses. Finding an original script. Sometimes children initiate role reversal play. Sometimes they need help from adults to do that. Because of the inescapable influence of media, children sometimes need active adults in order to help them write and star in their own stories. Now, I've mentioned this before. TV disengages children. They get hypnotized. We do as well when we're watching TV once the children are asleep. We want to disengage from the world sometimes for our brain to relax. But if you stay there for too long, you're hypnotized and you can't reach over to that remote control to just switch it off. Sometimes leaving children to their own devices means leaving them to the power of the marketing from the TV. The problem with children following the scripts written by the media is that the scripts tell children both what to play, what to buy, and how to play with those things. Thus, children do not get a chance to play out themes and issues that are important to them and their development. At the same time, you can't ban media themes because children often need to play these themes out to find out what they mean to them. As parents, we need to watch media with our children, talk with them about it, but also play with the themes with the child, twisting the roles and adding new themes. I mentioned this in one of my other modules when they say we should not watch TV. No, children should not be in front of screens. Yes, it's right, but they forget to mention by themselves. If you're there with the child and you're able to speak about what you see, and if a child says, "Oh, I want that," and you say, "I want 2 of those," or and play out those themes, or you see something on TV and play it with the children, then it all of a sudden becomes an interaction. And as my childhood, I remember sitting with my family, having movie time. We used to get the video cassettes every Friday, and we used to be so excited. This was the time when we actually had to go to the movie shops. There was movie shops that you had to go and collect the cassette and watch it. And we used to sit together watching the movie within our parents' arms. And afterwards we would talk about it and we'll play it out. And this is the same thing now, but we as parents sometimes get so busy and prioritize other things that we use the TV as a nanny. And there is a place for that. For instance, when you are quickly getting the dinner or the lunch ready on the table, then a 5-minute program or 10-minute program is perfectly fine. However, if they're there in front of the TV for an hour, the amount of media influence that has gone into your child's brain, it could be if we knew, it would be disturbing, because advertisers spend millions of pounds on making sure they're able to influence their viewers. So at the end of the day, the best solution is to limit the amount of exposure to media and play with your children. And just remember, role reversal is a great technique to build confidence in your child, and also to break through any fears they might have, and also for them to feel powerful and to be able to learn how to help you or adults, and to control their impulses.